Hi boys and girls, this is to go over the workbook pages from last week, determining the theme of a story. And you can see here what I underlined. What that says is that most story authors want to share an important message or lesson about people or life, and that's called the theme. Normally though, authors do not state the theme directly. They want you to infer the theme. And remember, you infer by reading the words carefully and then adding what you already know from your personal experience. And that way you can make an inference. If you've ever felt like this little boy that was afraid to do something for the first time, then you can know what he feels like from your past experiences, huh? The chart on 135, you can look at it quickly and then we'll go over it. It begins with who is the character. Now remember, when there are open-ended questions, your answers don't have to be exactly like this as long as they're close. The character is a scared young boy. He is standing at the top of a water slide with a terrified look on his face, and his knees are knocking. Go down to what is the character's problem. The boy is afraid because he has never gone down a water slide before. Then go up to what does the character learn. The boy learns that going down the slide is fun, not scary. And what is the theme of the cartoon? It could be that it takes courage to try new things, or also it could be facing your fears can be rewarding. The second lesson is the two travelers. And if you'll look here, you can see that I underlined some things here. Let's see what the close reader habit says. Underline words and phrases that tell you about the thoughts and feelings that the second man had about the story events. Okay, here are some questions across the page. What do the characters promise each other as the story opens? They promise they will stand by one another if they meet danger. What happens that creates a problem for the characters? A bear rushes out of the woods. Number 2, how does each character attempt to solve the problem? The first man climbs up a tree, and the second man doesn't have time to do that, so he falls to the ground and just pretends to be dead. At the end of the story, what has the second man learned about the first man? He learns that the first man cannot be trusted to keep his promises. You have a writing with that particular lesson, a short response, and it is over on page 140. So this is a sample response that yours may sound like. It asks to describe a theme of the two travelers. One theme is that a person should be judged by actions, not just words. As the story begins, the character promises to stand by the other character to the end of their dangerous journey. Their promise is soon tested when the bear attacks them. The first man climbs a tree, thus leaving his friend behind. Fortunately, the second man saves himself by pretending to be dead. Later, the second man says the bear described the first man as a coward whose promises cannot be trusted. Okay, the third day's lesson was Claudine's attack. And you see that I underlined some things there. The close reader habits says, how do the girls' actions relate to the theme? Read the story, underline details that explain what happens as a result of the girls' actions. Then you have some questions. Question 1, which statement best explains why the girls wanted to slow down the German trucks? The answer is D. The girls wanted to slow down the trucks delivering supplies to soldiers who were fighting the American troops. Number 2, which statement best describes how events in the paragraphs 5, 6, and 7 are important to the theme? That is C. They show that the girls' dangerous risk paid off. You have a short response for this one as well, but before we could do that, you had to fill in a chart, and you follow the arrows. It starts with who is the character. Well, since there were two characters, I said Claudine and her friend, the one that's telling the story. Two 11-year-old girls from France, and they are against the Nazis. Okay, you go down to what is the character's problem. The girls wanted to slow down the German trucks. Then you go up to what does the character learn? They learned that even though they were young, they could still make a difference. And the theme could be several things. Even a small act of courage can make a difference. Do your best and see what happens, or small things can make a big difference. Now, for your sample response there, here is one in the teacher book. The theme of the story is that even a small act of courage can make a difference. In the first few paragraphs, I learned that the girls want to help the Americans by slowing down the German supply trucks. The two come up with the idea of throwing tacks in the road, bravely go ahead with their dangerous plan, and succeed in stopping 12 trucks for half of a day. The girls did find a way to make a small difference in the war effort. So they could have saved a lot of lives just by slowing them down for half of a day. Okay, the next lesson was Sir Ivain, and this was the longer story that's usually at the end. When you get to page 145, you can see these answers here. Question 1, part A, in paragraph 7, Sir Kay says that Sir Ivain is more polite than brave. Which statement below describes how Sir Ivain tries to show that Sir Kay is really wrong? And the answer is B. He wants to prove that he can defeat the Black Knight by himself. Part B, the best answer to support is C. Sir King, I crave your permission to set forth tomorrow to slay this pest in the land. Then on page 146, it says Sir Ivain was displeased. He thought that the adventure should be his alone. What does the prefix dis mean in the word displeased? The answer is B. It means not. Displeased is the same as not pleased. Number 3, reread paragraph 13. How is Sir Ivain's response to the king's plan important to the theme of the story? The answer is D. It shows he did not think carefully about what he was about to do. And read the sentence from paragraph 20. Then Sir Ivain realized what his recklessness had cost him. The question is, which 3 statements best describe how the consequences of Sir Ivain's actions support a story theme? And the 3 you would pick are C, Sir Ivain had shown the king he was disobedient. E, Sir Ivain had put his life in great danger. And G, Sir Ivain would have little hope of escape. Your short response, let me read the one in the teacher book. It says, and the question is, what lesson does Sir Ivain learn in this passage? It says, Sir Ivain learns that rash bravery can lead to trouble. Rash bravery means you haven't really thought it through. To prove his bravery, Sir Ivain sneaks out to conquer the Black Knight on his own. He doesn't think about the consequences, though. First, he shows the king that he is disobedient, because remember, the king wanted them all to go together. Then he thoughtlessly follows the Black Knight into his castle, where he gets trapped and put in a dungeon. And put in danger. Sir Ivain's experiences points to the theme, think ahead before taking action. So that is the theme of that story. Okay, have a great day.